Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and now that the Nether update has an official release date, we're ever so excited to see the server enter the Netherite era. Share some hype in the comments and your predictions on who in the whitelist will dominate the heckin' market, as well as what farms and contraptions will break immediately upon the update. And in the meantime, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
Free diamond popsicle. I mean, that's not bad.
Starting with Welsknight, who might have gotten into the Crimsons a little bit too early. Having installed a wheat farm in the basement of his villa, Wells channels the produce into a leather business and a pop-up shop in the commercial area. But the business makes him realise that he might need extra help to catch up with the rest of the server. To get some help, he tries to use Vintage Beef's splitting machine, but instead of prestiging him, it Jekyll and Hydes the good knight and creates Hell's Knight, an evil doppelganger hell-bent on ruining Wells' day.
Well, it's fantastic. Oh.
Now you're getting it.
Then they have a rap battle. Beef himself has not yet stepped back into the duplication device, which is now relocated to an experiment room in the underground section of his base. His other experiments with armor stands are proving much more productive, hunting down dragon heads in the end to revamp his piano design, and now selling a drum kit. All he needs is an upright bass, and he'll have the full rhythm and blues experience. If it's the blues you want, look no further than Impulse SV, who commits himself to acquiring 2 blue materials, taking on the 2000 Diamonds challenge and building a Nembon-designed ice farm. The latter goes better than the former. While he gave the diamonds a solid try, he soon finds himself with some mathematical regrets.
So hour number 1, hour number 2, and if every hour was closer to this second hour, where we got almost, just over 2 stacks, we're still looking at about 15 and a half hours of digging. Did Iskall really do this?
TFC needs no challenge to acquire diamonds and has managed to mine up plenty off camera to spend on shulker boxes and concrete at the shopping district. He also goes looking for ender chests, although a misunderstanding at Grian's Emporium leads to him buying the player head models of the ender chest instead.
Oh, come on. A player head that looks like an ender chest? I don't want a chest that looks like I don't want a head that looks like a chest. I want a chest. Good grief. Maybe even a metal to pin it on.
Before heading off to get a refund, he starts beaming and propping his trademark branch mine with some traditional oak wood and rustic lanterns. With 116 well on its way, Zombie Cleo decides to give some love to her own nether portal and visually connects it to the rest of the base via a well-detailed pathway. But before she can do anything else at the Zoo of Wonders, she is of course pulled away by last week's Zedaph, trying to figure out how to make a golf ball out of a stick figure.
I have been trying to make this video for the last 2 weeks now. I'm kind of, a little bit incredibly stressed.
To extract the wrench out of whatever plans she had by then, Cleo takes a beach day and puts together a miniature sandcastle at the shore of her base as a nice palate cleanser. Though Zedaph's experiments don't end with that. Now armed with more knockback than you can fit on a sword, Zed goes to iron out the mechanics of his future minigolf game. The trickiest part is to ensure that the armor stands in the system are moved and cycled automatically, being lined up and glided across as they're meant to be. Somewhere along the way, he makes a fish launcher.
They tried to go. There's a little catching chamber down there for the ones that miss. But sometimes go and give it another try. He landed on the edge. Oh, he nearly made it over. He did make it over. Oh, and another one.
Tango Tech takes an episode to pave some roads as well, even if the landscaping for the Toontown is a tad more blunt with the asphalt and artificial greenery.
And the main reason I need this is a lighting solution, right? Because lights, lights underground is good because all the caves underground here are like 100% lit up. So when it turns nighttime, it's like 7,000 mobs in my front lawn.
As if sensing him destroying nature, Etho shows up to offer an even bigger opportunity for that. Together, they invade the ecosystem of a local jungle island and absolutely devastate the area with TNT, including devastating each other here and there in the process.
Oh my gosh. Oh no, oh wow, it did do it. It looked like it didn't. It was just I hadn't updated the chunks.
So after being MIA last week, Etho is MIA this week.
All I wanna do is... and take your money.
But the prospect of blowing stuff up to start a gaming district is absolutely in Etho's wheelhouse, and their plan is essentially a nether theme park, to be more thoroughly planned and decorated once the server has access to the 116 block palette.
Each platform looks like it'll hold, hopefully 2 or 3 games, is the idea.
Anything that's super big will probably go on the outside rim, and we'll try to build that out a bit too.
Yeah, or
all those
into a
trees have to
cable.
go away.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Elsewhere, Etho finds himself put under pressure by the Llama Dad, although he might have found a way to relieve that pressure in the nearby experiment room.
So I'm not
Alright,
getting
next
fired?
time. You're not getting fired. No, and you're not getting murdered, apparently.
I thought I was getting fired.
Tango's shenanigans also blow up in his face once False Symmetry finds out that she is now the literal poster child for the Mumbo for Mayo campaign. In retaliation, she invades Toontown and straps a pair of false brand goggles over the pea shooter creeper farm output. To restore her literal image, False buys out a couple of spots in the commercial area to put up billboards. One is vacant for renting out to someone else, while another is very much endorsing False's sheriff to mayor conversion. The other boomers get off easier, but False does make sure to repay them in renamed unstackable diamonds.
They'll have these payments left at their bases, and then we won't have to worry about paying them anymore. We are all good.
BOO sends some of those back her way in exchange for terracotta, the better to build a roof for his new sawmill. After reviewing the Evil Genius lab design with Tango Tech, he drops in on Good Times with Scar's new campaign manager, Jelly the Cat, to see what their next steps are. Scar seems a bit more wooden than usual, but perhaps that's our imagination.
Well, Scar, it's great to see you here. I'm sure you've been working on some big plans, haven't you?
Isn't Jelly so cute? I love Jelly so much. Jelly is such a sweet cat.
Either way, Jelly instructs B-Dubs to buy all the Mumbo merchandise he can, just to take it out of circulation and acquire diamonds for Scar's coffers.
So without further ado, please enjoy this ad from our sponsor, Mumbo for Mayor. But don't actually let it influence you, okay?
Despite her polling well, Stressmonster is still concerned that Mumbo's multimedia campaign might gain him the advantage, so she decides to step into the merchandise game as well. A Pixel Heart t-shirt is this week's must-have fashion item, and even if the heart isn't centered, she can at least say it's right justified.
It's not centered.
We are ignoring that fact, okay? We are not discussing that because this is Minecraft at the end of the day.
Her other big move is to swamp the shopping district with supporters, and we do mean swamp. Setting up a temporary villager breeder using some of her swamp villagers, she unleashes several generations of testificates into the Mushroom Island, all name tagged with supportive messages. It's all fun and games until they start producing their own bodyguards.
Okay, maybe... there we go.
iJevin, in the meantime, chooses to become a walking billboard for Mumbo's campaign, having now bought into every ad option available at the Drumbot shop. Though a more reliable source of income would be optimizing his own enterprises, which he does as he installs a proper loot sorter at the towering mob grinder. This will help him afford more endstone and maybe save up enough time for valuable block placement, now that the main platform of his future saucer is to be made a few blocks thicker.
I gotta tell you guys though, seeing the thickness of the base, it's like a total game changer.
XB Crafted has no shortage of funding now the beacon kits are selling like hotcakes, and after a bit of terraforming, his own levitating base starts to fit more into the landscape. Or it did before it took off, and the majority of XB's week is taken up by designing the crater it left behind. He takes a short break to buy a mustache which elevates his redstone prowess, but returns to the Savannah Hills to excavate it with TNT and shape out the ribcage of a modernistic skyscraper.
A lot of this is still kind of just up in the air. I don't plan them. I don't have a notebook sitting next to me that I go, okay, in this video at this time I will be doing this thing.
One for more controlled explosions, Xisuma Void finally discovers a concrete blast chamber design that works exactly as well and reliably as he needs it to. It then blows through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man.
And so with a little bit of obsidian, I was then able to shield the blast from blowing up the blocks of our blast chamber. And this thing works! Like, it's doing the job with no hiccups, no problems whatsoever.
Despite this setback, the new concrete blaster does work, and X makes sure to redecorate the tower housing it, as well as the piston tape delivery lines leading to it. The slime farm from last week gets an update too, and one that significantly increases the rates of green squishy. As Joe Hills learns firsthand, there's such a thing as a farm being too productive, especially if the thing it produces is cave spiders.
It turns out that sometimes if you aggressively mine into the area that has hundreds of baby spiders, all the baby spiders pour out. No, that's the baby spiders pouring out. That's the baby spiders pouring out. That's the bad version of this. That's the one that we didn't want.
But it's worth the effort to have skeletons, zombies, and spiders all farmed in close proximity to each other. The first visitors to Jurassic Park arrive, although perhaps they don't come with the best of intentions. So to increase interest in his dog sanctuary, Joe brings some dogs to Etho, Cleo, Hypno, and Xisuma's bases, then returns to the prehistoric-themed area to build out some giant ribs. In an attempt to even out the horizontal stripes of the pyramids inside, Cubfan embraces the kelp block as his stripy wallpaper of choice. To supply himself with it, he has to put together a modular indoor kelp factory equipped with a kill switch for good measure.
So we can either have the farm running at full capacity, 50% capacity, or 100% capacity. Yeah, just a nice little bit of customization there, and yeah, allows us to control the farm and turn it on and off if we don't need it.
The Mumbo for Mayor campaign spins into another level when they install a server-side resource pack that transforms a few music discs into Mumbo brand jingles. This allows Grian to easily target his server mates and play music in their videos directly whether they want it or not, because the range on a jukebox is like 65 blocks.
Is that something this store does? Is it makes that sound go off? What was that loud? Oh my goodness. I mean, it was a catchy tune. But,
In his personal enterprise, Grian applies another upgrade for his bargain barge Emporium market, even at a price of blowing some of it up. Plus, the Wonder House Mega Mansion is tweaked and prettified with incidental greenery and anti-snow solutions.
It feels really good to see it like this. It looks so much cleaner, and while I was there, I thought I might as well put those trees in that I mentioned at the start of the video. And doesn't that look so much more fresh and clean?
It's a good thing the Mumbo campaign is going analog, because this seems to be the week many people decided to mess with their digital assistant. Rendog, in between putting the finishing touches to the Tattoo Ren hangar bay, gets suspicious about the identity of the Spectral Emperor and decides to question the nearest droid, which of course means Grumbot. After a few seconds of deep thought, Grumbot suggests the Emperor might be an old friend, and Ren is left to ponder what the heck this means while he moves on to his next big project, a Jawa sandcrawler.
It's gonna become our concrete maker, our concrete factory for the season, and well, we just have to go pretty far out to get a full idea of how massive this build is gonna be.
Iskall also tinkers with Grumbot after it refuses to give advice on Stressmonster's campaign. After a bit of banner doctoring, Grumbot gets gorgeous, but a makeover doesn't change the robot's stance, so Iskall goes after the brain.
Don't worry, Grumbot, I am an expert. Oh dear, I see he has the latest Mustache AI chipset.
Even then, it's got a one-track mind, so he heads over to the mayoral wishing fountain to hear the voice of the people via the medium of renamed concrete. Of course, the rest of Iskall's week has been spent growing additional branches of his Omega Tree of Doom, one log at a time. It's even outgrown its previous occupant, the Chariot, who Iskall decides to relocate to the zigzag spire of Mumbo's base.
Oh, for goodness sake. Loving my new home. The view here is amazing. Thank you for moving me, Chariot. Annoyingly, it looks really good. The Chariot actually looks good.
Which brings us at last to Mumbo, who, true to form, is happy to work on his base while the campaign for mayor happens around him. He can't just put chariots everywhere though, so the rest of the tower has to be improved with grass platforms, stone slab details, and some tongue-twisting acronyms.
You know Iskall's got his IBBB? Well, ours is now officially called the IBBBBBBBBIBI. Officially stands for the In-Between Bases base built by Bumbo Baggins, but inspired by Iskall. I personally think that name could catch on.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. In this week's End Screen Theatre, Zloy has put together a compilation video of that one time we found ourselves in the sky with a bunch of chickens. It's worth a watch. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.